I'm Lori with Pink Cloud Scrappers, and this is my Graphic 45 2015 final audition for the design team. I just want to first say thank you to Graphic 45. I can't thank them enough. For the past year, I've been blessed enough to serve on their design team, and it has been amazing. It's amazing coming home having huge boxes of goodies, of paper and staples. I love the metal. All of that has just been wonderful. It is like Christmas morning every time you open a box up from them. But more than anything, I think I have really been blessed and inspired by the rest of my design team members. They are all so lovely and so sweet and so talented and creative. I just can't say enough about them. And I have been very lucky to have gotten to work with them for the past year. I also feel very blessed seeing all the names and all the work from the top 25 that are trying out for it. Incredible, absolutely incredible work, and I'm humbled to be in your presence. So thank you very, very much for giving me the opportunity to do 2015 again with you. Now, I wanted to tell you just a little bit about my project. It is a Cinderella butterfly box, and my sister Jenny and I went to go see Cinderella. I thought I'd like it, but I loved it. I absolutely fell in love with it. It was just magical to me for some reason. Maybe something I'm needing in my life right now, who knows. But in the beginning, she opens a box. Don't worry, there's no spoiler here. And it's a butterfly box from her father. And that is exactly what I wanted to make. And I leaned over to my sister when they did it and I said, Jenny, that's what I want to do for my final audition of Graphic 45. So this is my butterfly box. And as you open it, I have made it that the butterflies jiggle and float out, which is kind of neat. But inside, I also have created some coupon cards for various things, and I'm going to use one of those coupon cards right now, and it is the wish card. And so my wish is that I will hopefully make the 2015 design team with Graphic 45. Thank you so much for your time and your consideration, and I hope you all have a great day.
So today I'm going to show you how to make this Cinderella butterfly box, and the first thing we want to do is make our homemade template for the top. So get your 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and you're going to measure in 6 inches on each side. That's going to help you find the middle. Then you're going to draw a straight line from each corner. Next, measure over 3.5 inches from each edge. This will create a 5-inch square in the middle of your paper, which is the perfect size for our box. Then from the top down to the edge, as I'm showing, you're going to draw a perfect arch with a circle. Now you can start to see the form of our template. Cut away all the excess and you'll have left your basic shape, which will be perfect. You can score your template on all 4 sides just to let you know how it's going to fold up, and that's how it's going to look. Perfect for the top of our box. Using the template that we just created, lay that on top of black cardstock, trace around it, and then cut it out. This is going to make the base for the top of our box, which is a major part of our project. Next, I'm going to score my edges just as I did on my template, and you can use a bone folder to get all your edges crisp. You can see it goes perfect on the top of our box. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start making the scales, I don't know what else to call them, on the side of our box. And so I'm scalloping with a paper punch all the edges and then cutting them off in thin strips. I'm going to do this on about 2 sheets of Graphic 45 12 by 12 because you're going to use a lot by the time it's all layered up. On the edges, I make sure that I ink them all with some gold so that they'll have a nice distressed look, and it almost gives it a metal feel. Then you're going to to start gluing your layers together. You're going to keep doing this till you get a nice big sheet. Just like this. Next, you want to turn it over, use your base that you cut out from your template, mark it and cut it just like I'm doing, and then we're going to layer it on top. And this is going to be the outside of our box. As you do this, you may find that you need to trim up your edges just a little bit. Now, I did it with scissors, but you could also use sandpaper or a file, whatever you're comfortable using. Go ahead and finish all 4 sides, and this is going to be the outside of our Cinderella butterfly box. Now you can see through the magic of video, all 4 sides are completed. Now we have to work on the interior of our box. So just flip over again, and we're going to use our base as the template to draw off, cut it out, and then glue it down to the inside. Don't forget to distress ink the edges on the interior too. It always just leaves a nice finished look on all of your work. Now you want to start to give life and form to your box. So I start to roll all of my edges. And I'm going to use the bone folder here just to crease up, get it nice and tight on those creases. I like sharp creases. So now you can see how it's starting to come together. I love this shape. Next, I punched 2 holes on opposite sides. And this is going to be for your brads and your ribbon to hold the top together. And again, I'm just kind of rolling the paper. I actually used a bottle from my desk to give it a little more curl and a little more roll, and just kind of really start to work it into the shape that you want. With the various layers that are on there, your paper is pretty stiff and it'll work for you. And here's our graphic 45 5x5 little box, media box, and we're going to start to add things to it. And the first thing we want to do is add these awesome new claw feet, the antique metal claw feet to the bottom. And I just put them on the corners and then used my paper piercer to let myself know where the holes are going to be, made the little holes for the brads. Honestly, you could just glue on the claw feet with a strong glue and it would hold, but I just wanted to be sure that it held, so I did use brads with it on top of the glue too. So you're ready to put your feet on, but one thing you've got to do is the box opens all the way up. So that would be a problem with your feet. So you want to do some strong glue on that inside flap there so that when you open your top, it'll only be the top that opens. It doesn't open all the way, as you'll see, otherwise it would knock off your claw feet. Now hopping back to our top, I've added a rivet in, and I'm just going to add our big brad, and this is going to be almost like the knob that holds our ribbon, and on the other side I'll add the ribbon. Now I'm going to be honest with you, this was something that if I'd thought about it beforehand I wouldn't have done it quite this way, but I did go back and cut another little flap for the side that showed the brad because I didn't want the back of the brad showing. And obviously I should have done the brad first and then laid down the interior, but I fixed it, no big deal. This is just something you get to see as I make the video as I go. Now we're ready to glue some sides onto our box of decorative paper on all your edges so it'll look pretty. And you'll just measure those off 2 inches by 5 inches. I actually went about 1 3/4 by 4 3/4, so it had a little bit of an edge to it. You can see here I'm just measuring that off. And of course you want to put your sides on before you glue your feet down or you'll be in trouble. So be sure you layer it up right. Eraser is one of those tools I use all the time. Works great with the zip dry glue just to go in and remove any excess so it doesn't show. Now I'm going to attach the feet, and you can see I'm working the little brads in the holes. It's kind of hard because it's dark down in that box, but that's what I'm doing and getting ready to apply my feet. And there they are. So we're really close to adding the top of our box, but we're not quite there. We've got to do a little interior work on our box. So you'll want to just cut a decorative sheet of graphic 45 paper and add that in the bottom of the inside of the box and then on the top inside of the box. And you'll see me do that here. See, there it is on the top, and then you're going to cut and do the same thing for the bottom, just so it's nice and lined. And it gives us a chance to carry out a little more of that graphic 45 couture paper, which is always nice to have. Good news, we are ready to put our top finally on our box. So I'm using some really strong adhesive on it, and I always use the glue and then also use a little bit of Dry's clear glue around it. I guess I just want to be sure that thing really stays together. So we have to make our floating butterflies now, and hopefully you saved your scraps from your scalloped paper. If not, dig them out of the trash can quick. And I'm using the metal butterflies from Graphic 45, putting those on the scalloped paper, cutting out around them, and then I also use an X-Acto tool and some files just to get everything really nice on the edges. And I also, of course, gold distress them on the edges once everything's all cut out so that it leaves that finished look. So we're just going to work on our butterflies now and get those nice and pretty. And here are the finished butterflies. So now we have to put them in our box, and I've cut some of the couture paper, the peacock paper, and some black cardstock, and I'm layering that up just to do a layered square in the center, but that's actually going to hold down the butterflies. So let me show you. Now here's the neat trick. I'm upcycling some packaging that I have. I think it was actually from a Spellbinder's die. I'm cutting thin strips about a ½ inch wide in the acetate there. And then that's what we're going to attach our butterflies onto. Curl them so that they give the illusion that they're floating and they're springing out of the box when you open it up. So you just place it where you need it to be, and then using a self-healing mat, just take an X-Acto to cut a slit the size of the acetate strip, thread that through, and then curl it and work with it a little bit, and then you're going to punch with a hole punch on the end for the butterfly to be mounted onto. And the neat thing about the Graphic 45 butterflies are in the center there is a little square hole so that you'll be able to run a brad through it to attach it to the acetate. So I'm using the metal brads from Graphic 45. You can see those here, even though my packaging's gotten a little torn up. And I'm just going to use my paper piercer, put a hole through the center of the butterfly, and then work that brad. Make sure they're together. I was using that just to make sure the ends were together there. Work it through your butterfly. And I also brushed mine with a little bit of the gold just so it blended in, because the brads that I had were silver. Although Graphic 45 does also do the golden color. Punch a hole, and then you're ready to attach your butterfly. And then you just got to work with it a little bit on the acetate there again, like we did on the top of the box, just to get it to where it hangs and floats kind of where you want it to. So you may need to curl the acetate just a bit. And you start to get the idea of how they're going to bounce around and kind of fly as you open the box. I think they're so cool. Again, using strong glue, just glue the back of the acetate strips on the back side. This you can also use when you attach it to the interior box.
So you can see I've added the ribbon. I've left a little loop that's gone through the rivet and then have a really pretty bow on the other side. But that loop is what's going to hook over the brad on the other side to shut it up. And then you're just going to glue down your butterflies on the inside. And then when the box is closed and then opened, the butterflies will spring up. So I'm just closing up the box, and then you can open it, and voila! There are the butterflies, ready to jiggle around and fly out. And I think they have that same magical feel as the box in Cinderella, and thus it is the Cinderella box. So please enjoy some finished photos of my project. You can see that I have added a handmade paper flower to the top, some fussy cutting, and then I also did a little tag on the outside that has "Have courage and be kind," quote from the movie. Here's some of the fussy cutting on the side. And then our movable butterflies on the inside when you open the box, and there's a detailed shot of them. I made coupon cards to go into the interior of my box, and they have 5 different coupons for a wish, good for one shoe fitting, and you can see some of the detail work of the embossed shoe, the layering, good for one dance because everybody needs to dance with their Prince Charming. Good for one wish, and mine of course would be to be on Graphic 45 team again this year. Good for a carriage, and finally good for one beautiful ball dress or gown. I hope this project has inspired you to make your own Cinderella butterfly box, and I hope that you will send wishes my way that I am blessed enough to return to the Graphic 45 design team in 2015. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to also check out my blog, www.pinkcloudscrappers.blogspot.com.